Right, welcome back everybody to my SnowRunner hard mode playthrough. Not done much since the last episode, just a little bit of returning this Pacific, which at the end of the last episode we left over at the logistics station where we just dropped off some cargo as part of the super order task, and then realized that there was 3 more steps to this task. So what I've done is I've just pulled the Pacific back out of there, picked up the 2-slot trailer that was located at this little house here, because it had it's a 2-slot trailer and it had 1 vehicle spare parts on it, and I want that. Although I can get one from the warehouse, I also wanted a trailer, so it just made sense to pick up this trailer. So I need to add 1 pallet of fuel to it, and then the Pacific with that trailer can be ready for the 3rd step. We've done the 1st step. Next step is Island Lake, and then it's Black River. And once I go into Island Lake and Drummond Lake for the other 2 steps, I'm going to leave the Pacific here so that it can just do the Black River task when we're ready for it. So that's basically the plan for this for the start of this episode, at least. Is I'll grab a bit more fuel from this trailer, which is by no means full, but it's got some in it. And then I did a little bit of damage to the Pacific, so I'm going to repair that real quick. We're using the supplies that are on the pickup truck. See if I'm close enough. Yeah, so suspension mostly, roof rack, suspension, bit of engine. Yeah, fine. So that's used up some of the pickup truck's repair, which I'll have to remember to recharge at the supply depot. And then the other thing I figured I would do on the way past is basically drag that pickup truck with its fuel bowser, because next stop is the fuel station, and that happens to be also pretty much where we drop off the fuel bowser, which we've drained to as close to 10% as I could get it. So we may as well do that task at the same time. Trying to get stuff done. Drop the Chevy there. Oversteer slightly. I will obviously auto load because I don't have a crane at the moment on here. But that is now prepped, ready for the 3rd step of that delivery task. So I'm not going to drive it through to Black River now, I'll just leave it here ready for when that step is ready to activate. Engine. But yeah, that's the super order. We'll need vehicle spare parts and fuel, one of each, take it into Black River. And we'll do that. But so the next step will be, let's quickly do the Chevy task while it's parked there. And we've got the trailer on the back. Set the correct task to lost trailer. Because we may as well cash in the XP from that one. Let's just double check if there's any more fuel we can. Yeah, we may as well just take the. It's only 3 litres, but hey, $6. Hope you don't mind me stealing some of your fuel, mate. 180. You paid me $1,900 for a nearly empty trailer. Ideal. Might as well, and then I've got nothing else to do with this truck right now, so I will leave it on the road, but near here, and then I can choose if I want to take some fuel out of it or out of its roof rack when the time comes. But leave it parked up out of the way for a minute. Right, so next task is to crack on with super order. So we need a fuel, a consumable, and a concrete block. They're all 1 slot items. We get the fuel here at the fuel station we're already at, and we get the consumable at the farm, which is where the Fleetstar is, and then we can get a concrete block from down at the storage zone. So the obvious thing to do is to grab those and head down there, but we also will need a concrete slab in Drummond Island, and I think the only place we can get concrete slabs, or the nearest place we can get concrete slabs, is here. So what I think we should do, we need that for Drummond Island. What I think we should do is, with the Fleetstar, grab the 4 slot trailer that's already up this end of the map, grab a concrete slab and the other 2 items, and then head down through the map into Drummond Island. I think that's the play. So Fleetstar, it's got its bed on it at the moment. That's convenient. Here and restore the train. We will top up the fuel while we're here. So this is pretty much empty again now, this fuel trailer. But we are basically done with that corner of the map. The only thing left in that side of the map near the drill-in site now is the side task to deliver a curtain sider into the island in the middle of the water, and you're supposed to use an off-roader for that. I could try it in the Fleetstar. It's probably the most nimble of the big trucks, but my risk with that is that if I get it wrong, I'll have to pay quite a lot of money to recover it, more money than the task is worth. So it depends on whether I'm feeling brave and how OCD I want to be about doing completion on the map. And the problem with that is that bravery can quite often be confused with recklessness, and OCD about completion is a thing that I know I suffer from, and therefore I'm probably going to attempt it, even if it's unwise. Got to give it at least one try, maybe. Come on, we'll only be burning fuel in this sticky stuff. Right, let's get some speed on. Here's what I'm thinking. If I transfer this consumable pallet to the 4-slot trailer and then also put the fuel and concrete block that's needed for Iden Lake on the same 4-slot trailer, I can then put the concrete slab in the flatbed on the back of this, or in the sideboard bed on the back of this Fleetstar, drive the rig down into Drummond Island, and then unhook the trailer and use the white Western Star, which is in Drummond Island, to deliver the trailer with the 3 items for Island Lake, and leave the Fleetstar where it needs to deliver its slab without having to take the slab all over the world. And if that doesn't make sense from talking about it now, you'll have to bear with me, and it'll all become sensible as we go, hopefully. But it's that logistical in my mind, trying to work out how to minimize how many times I have to go backwards and forwards across the map. So I'm just going to transfer this consumable onto this trailer. I was planning to play through the daytime today and maybe get a bit more done through my daytime, but I had something going on. There was some kind of roadworks out in the street where I live, and it made so much background noise that I wouldn't have been able to record. So instead of doing what I should have done, which is editing the couple of episodes I've still got in the can, I played a different game. Terrible. So, cargo management. One pallet on the loading platform. Probably end up having I've loaded it, I've cut all of that out probably because it's just too dark to be good footage, I think. Packed. Right, how is my fuel? Pretty good. I'm not going to steal anything out of these other trucks. So although I loaded that with the crane, it was so dark it's probably rubbish footage, so I'll probably just end up cutting it anyway. So next stop is the warehouse next to the dam where I can pick up a concrete slab and put it in the truck. And then we head off through the mountain twisty road to the warehouse in the far southwest of the map and get a concrete block on the trailer, and then we're off to Drummond Island. So I will cut to the dam. There's nothing interesting about this ride. Right, so here we are, coming across the nice dam, good illumination. It looks quite cool with the street lights, so I thought I'd come back from the cut. Certainly earlier, so we're going to pull into here. We've got some fuel in here, I'm not sure how much, probably 1,000 litres or so. So we'll refuel before we leave, but first of all we're going to get a concrete slab loaded up. Onto the loading platform. Store, unpack, repack cargo. So now we've got 4 slots of cargo, but we're gearing that trailer up to be the Island Lake delivery. So hopefully my plan is starting to make sense. So we'll fill up out of this one. I hate that camera stuff, the way the camera goes janky. So how much fuel is in here? Oh, that's not bad, a bit more than I thought. 1,500 and, well, just over 1,500. Now nearly 1,400 litres left in there. That's not too bad. And then now we're going to drive this combination down through to Drummond Island. I did consider grabbing some cement out of the quarry for the other contract, but given that we need to take 4 two lots of cement each to each of the 4 Michigan island maps, I haven't got enough cargo slots on this to do a single trip. I may as well just do that with a 4 slot, or even with the semi 5 slot trailer. and do a different trip into the islands for the 4 units of cargo, of cement cargo that I've got to take. So I changed my mind about that. Who left that trailer there? Somebody put a trailer in the way. Can I get past it? I can get past it, but can I get position so that I can load this trailer? Should be fine, shouldn't it? Yeah. Right. So cargo, we want concrete block onto the loading platform, please. And then we're ready to go. I'm just gonna very quickly unpack, repack. There, right, okay, that's packed it fine. Engine off. So we've got, just doing a double check. We got 1 fuel, 1 consumable, 1 concrete block on the trailer. We've got the Black River deliveries ready to go, and then we've got a concrete slab on the Fleetstar, and we'll have to come back here for a metal beam for the final step of this contract. So let's hustle, let's get going. Into Drummond Island. A lot of side tasks to do here still. Some of them requiring the Scout, some of them requiring the Fleetstar. So there's a bit more backwards and forwards between the route that we've just done. Smithfield Dam. Back to here. A couple of times, I think. Let's focus on this contract for now then. Fairly sure this is the right way. Why don't I check it? Yeah, it is. So this three-way junction is a little bit of a utility spot for me. I've got a fuel tanker here. I've got the repair truck here. Engine off. Where is my White Western Star? Because that's here somewhere as well. That's just around the corner. Right, so here's what we do. We drop this trailer right here. We grab some fuel. This is a fuel tanker that I brought from Island Lake. I think I probably did that off camera, or if it was on camera, I might have edited it out on a previous episode to make the episode fit the duration. But yeah, it's a unused fuel trailer that I just pulled here, because this little utility three-way junction, wherever you're going in Drummond Island, you're going to pass this junction pretty much. So it seems like a sensible place to leave it. And then we'll move this around and park it up near the White Western Star, because when we've finished with a couple more deliveries, we'll come back and do this slab. We're not ready to deliver the slab yet because it's step 4 of the contract, so we couldn't deliver it yet. We'll leave it there and we will jump into White Western Star, which we need to turn around and grab that trailer, and then we'll use the White Western Star to take the trailer into Island Lake. And hopefully my plan is starting to make sense now. Don't actually crash into it that late. Come on, behave. I wanted to get some fuel out of it. I didn't want to knock its wheel off. Grab some fuel. Grab the trailer. And then we hustle over to Island Lake. And just to be clear, in my own head, follow the road past the fuel station. We should just refuel there. And the delivery point in Island Lake is the logging station. Fine. So the Pacific might have made more sense for this particular step, but the Pacific couldn't have towed 5 slots of cargo down through Smithfield Dam and into here. So if I'd have brought the Pacific for this trip, I would have ended up doing 2 trips. And that's the thing that in my head I was trying to work out how to avoid. And this White Western Star is perfectly capable, it's just the Pacific would have cruised through this a bit faster. And then there's another forward-thinking aspect of this, is that this trailer, this 4-slot trailer, is needed to move the shipping oversized cargo from the recovery of the cargo that has fallen off the ship that's down in the water. I can't quite see it because of the trees, but I need a 4-slot trailer for that. And there's another 4-slot trailer in the port, and I could. There's 2 oversized cargoes to shift, and I could use both 4-slot trailers, one on the Fleetstar, one on the White Western Star, and then winch them together and tow them up through the maps as one road train, which might be a bit of fun. Let me double check. Yes, they right. Thought so. There's no point not grabbing fuel as I go past the fuel station. That big fuel tanker's still got plenty in it, I think. Right, here we are, Island Lake Gate. Into the more swampy bit. We have still got all 3 units of cargo. So this is, yeah. Along this road. And drop off there. What's my fuel like? I shall leave that Bowser because I don't think there's much left in it. I'll leave it for somebody who needs it more, or maybe for me on the return journey. See how it goes. I said leave it, I didn't say drive over it. Sorry, Bowser. Right, let's get it done. Come on. Fast as we can through the mud, right? Without dropping our cargo. Try and high and see if high will just give me the momentum to get through this sticky stuff. I thought I put it in high. That's exactly what high gear is for. It's a fixed high ratio so that you don't lose momentum with gear changes in mud, and sometimes momentum is enough. Considering these aren't the nicest trailers to tow, it's not doing too bad really. Bumpy bit, but we kept that cargo, that's what matters. It's bumpy as well. Nearly there, come on. Get stuff done, it's nice to... I'm planning on doing this entire contract in this episode. Completing this contract in this episode. We did step 1 of the contract in the last episode. And because of the scrolling thing in the contract tab, I didn't realise it was a multi-step. Or maybe I saw it and then forgot. Which is also possible. So now, engine off. And into unload 3 times. And that's that task, that step of this contract done. So now we've got to deliver to... Okay, so it's given us the choice of which one we do now. So that we couldn't do Black River or Drummond Island until we'd done this island lake. But now we've got the choice of which one to do next. And it's much of a muchness, it doesn't really make much difference. So we will jump back to Smithville. We'll get in our Pacific and we'll take it to Black River. With the vehicle, service parts and fuel that's required at the old house. And I think the old house is probably the place that we went to for the last step of Pinewood Express time trial, I think. So back into Black River for the first time in a little while. Yeah, so the old house is the same spot that we were at the end of Pinewood Express. So just down into town, hang a right after the Irish pub, stop for a couple of pints of Guinness on the way, and then off to the old house. I saw a bit of speculation on a couple other channels today about phase 7. I think it was a Tribe Called Cars channel, which does some nice content, and speculation about whether or not there will be a year 3 season pass, and therefore presumably 4 more phases after 8, or whether they would do a sequel to SnowRunner, so spin tyres, mud tyres, SnowRunner, and then whatever comes next is installment 4. Must be an interesting thing. But the funny thing about more phases is that I'm still stuck in the first third of phase 1. I'm nowhere near doing the phases and catching up to phase 8 when it comes out. So phase 7 will release in the next few weeks probably, and I'm nowhere near like experiencing the content of phase 7. I've got a lot of work to do just to get to phase 2. But that's the cost of coming to a game 18 months after it was released and after it was hype and everybody else was playing it. But then, to be fair, I came across the game late, but I also picked the game as the thing that I would mess around with or start doing YouTube content with, so that I'm specifically not trying to do a game that's hype and maybe getting more views than I'm ready to know how to deal with. I have a small number of people who watch the videos every day, and I'm very appreciative of that, and I'm getting feedback from those people in comments, and I'm learning the craft of being a YouTube content creator without the pressure of trying to do it when it's a big hype game. So I can always kind of accept that I'm going to grow slowly as a channel, because I am on a quiet game that's not in its peak hype phase anymore. Engine off. But yeah, I don't know. Year 3 season pass to me feels sensible. There still seems to be enough people play the game, and there's enough other people with bigger channels than me that still make content for the game. So it does seem sensible that they would carry on with it to me. So that task now is just the 2 deliverables into Drummond Island. So this is where we now jump into the Fleetstar. There will be a little bit of backwards and forwards on this, because we have to take this concrete slab into the dock first, and then go back to the Smithfield Dam warehouse near the gateway and grab a steel beam, metal beam. If they do a year 3 season pass, I might have caught up with the content of this game, if I carry on making videos for it, that is. I may have caught up with the content of this game by the time they release a sequel. I'm sure the later maps I'll get faster at doing them as well, because when I started this hard mode save, I'd only played campaign mode for 50 hours, which is still very new. I think I've got 120 hours now, which is pretty much this season with the edits and the off-camera stuff that I do. So, but I'm still only 120 hours of experience on the game, and as we all know, the more you play a game, the faster you get, the better you get at driving, the better decisions you make when it comes to planning your logistics. I'm already doing a little bit more of that than I was in the first few episodes. Trying to think of how to use the recording time that I've got wisely to get as much content density into an episode as I can manage. Hopefully that's improving. Feels like it is to me. A couple of the episodes that I've edited recently have not really required much editing. They've been quite fluid because I haven't been doing a lot of my planning in the episode. Just bashed a hole in my suspension there. I don't know what I really caught there. There was nothing particularly on the road. Right, so get this slab delivered, and then about turn and double time back to Smithfield Dam. Right, no messing, racing back to Smithfield Dam. Right, here we are. We've done the round trip to Smithfield Dam to pick up metal beams and come back to the port to deliver them. and complete the contract. I editor outlay will edit out, cut out that most of that journey because it was pretty uneventful. Driving an empty truck in one direction all along roads, driving a truck with just some metal beams in it all the way back, so there's not really enough there to make it worth. And I didn't think of anything startlingly humorous to talk about or interesting to talk about while I was driving. So we'll do the world a favour and just shortcut that back to arriving here and handing in the task. So that's a pretty good amount of money. Look at that. We got 32,000 for that. We're now up at $174,000. That's nice. And then fair amount of XP. So I won't be surprised if that's leveled us again. Yeah, 15. 15 and quite a chunk. We're pretty close to 16. So that's nice. That's feeling like good progress. I thought we might get 16 out of Michigan before we moved on. I think we'll get maybe even get 18 now, looking at it. So next episode will be, I will probably get the cargo from ship, which is 2 oversized cargoes, and I may use this ramped flatbed for it, or the one that's currently attached to the Fleetstar. But I'll do all of that off cam and get myself ready to pick up this cargo, which is just down here. There's a, you can't see it on the map, but there's a sunken or beached ship on this coast, and then these are the 2 cargo containers that we have to get out. So it's a little bit twisty to get up through this with a big trailer on, but it's not too bad. And I'll use a ramped flatbed because it's a 4-slot cargo item, and they're quite maneuverable through those twisty bits rather than trying to put a semi trailer on and drag it through there. So yeah, that'll be the next episode. Maybe even a bit of side task work on this map, because we are closing in on finishing that. So they've got to be delivered to the warehouse in Smithfield Dam, and I think, yeah, I thought it would be. That's the warehouse that's as far away from Drummond Island as you can get. So we've got to do 2 trips up through this twisty road with a 4-slot trailer. Well, 2 trips with 4-slot cargo. And at the moment we don't have anything that could do that in one go, I don't think. Except maybe the Twin Star with a trailer on the back, but yeah, I'm not bringing the Twin Star down here just for that. Okay, so I'm going to leave this episode here. I hope you've enjoyed the episode, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Thank you and goodbye.